Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is February 23rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Hawaiian Islands bottom left, here is the state of California. We've got some precipitation moving into Northern California. A couple systems will be clipping the area, including this strong low that's going to move up towards the Pacific Northwest. But what we want to know is, do we have chances here for the Bay Area and Southern California for some precipitation? How much are we going to warm up here as we go through the upcoming week? And we'll dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at some of that precipitation flying, there is a few showers that look like it moved just north of the Bay Area, maybe across Sacramento there. Better rainfall amounts across Northwest California as that atmospheric river continues to plunder into the Pacific Northwest, and we'll do one more round of rainfall, mainly for northern portions again. But we do have some potential for some systems that start making their way down the further down the coastline here. We'll take a look at that in the weather models in a moment. But if you want a nice weather station with a haptic rain gauge, lightning detection system, ultrasonic anemometer, easy to set up. You have it up and running in minutes. Help support the channel. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. Highly recommend that station. And now we're talking about some heat coming up here. You see Phoenix, Arizona continuing to show one of the same graphics they have for the last couple of days here. And you can see getting pretty warm here for some areas. Look at El Centro, California, 90 degrees by Wednesday, 91 by Tuesday, and Blythe getting up towards 90 as well. Now, back towards the cooler, stormier weather here. 22 to 24-foot breakers on the beaches for Northern California. I want to point out that high surf advisory. Also, some fairly strong winds will be rolling through. This was updated this morning by Eureka National Weather Service. Same thing for this one. You can see Crescent City. Look at that potential 56 mile per hour gusts. Some gusts to 60 and the headlands out there and whatnot. So, yeah, watch out for that. Falling limbs and tree damage and whatnot, and possible damage to some structures there, depending on where you are. And one more look at Northern California. Again, the high surf advisory is in effect, wind advisory, there's some flood advisories, and you've got some high wind warnings across places like Wairika and some of the higher terrain east portions of the Cascades. There's Mount Shasta right there. Now, taking a look at what is coming here, because we've got the European on the left, the GFS on the right. So we're dealing with these storms going into the Pacific Northwest. We deal with that one coming through. Then we're going to amplify this ridge a bit. You can see as we go on in towards Tuesday afternoon and evening, we're going to warm things up. There is some energy out over the Pacific, but it largely gets cut off. And this isn't going to be a statewide cool down here. It may bring some cooler conditions for some areas, depending on the strength of this low as it comes in. The models don't show this producing a lot of precipitation. The GFS is a little bit stronger with it. I'll show you the precipitation amounts here in a moment, but that could still leave places like the Bay Area and Sacramento Valley in Northern California above normal, as this ridge is kind of dominating a lot of the West Coast, and this low is undercutting it a bit there. Now, if we take a look here at 6-hour precipitation type, you'll see the system moving through now. There goes the development of the very strong system, bringing rainfall maybe just north of the Bay Area on the GFS and the European. And this would be Monday afternoon, about 4 p.m. So here we go on in through Tuesday morning. That system will be moving out of the region. We really start to amplify that ridge. But again, there is this system out across the Pacific Ocean. Again, the European a little bit weaker, but they both have this cutoff low spinning around. And the GFS, again, shows better precipitation amounts across some of Southern California. So we got to watch that one closely. This goes out to about Friday night. So if I back that up, you can see on the night of Thursday, this will be right off the Bay Area and trying to creep down towards Southern California by Friday morning. So we'll watch that system closely there. Now, also with these systems moving by just mainly to our north, you can see this one on Monday is going to spread some pretty big wave action down the coastline here as well. And then it may remain elevated here as we go on in through next week also. So be sure to check the the local forecast out there before you go out. We could have some increased wave action as we go all the way through next week. And composite reflectivity, just break this down for you here quickly as well. We'll go on into this afternoon. That wraps up, and then the next system starts to roll in. Precipitation probably starting at some point on Monday morning. Some of that trying to creep down towards the Bay Area, doesn't make it too far there. Look at that. Looks like a Shasta County convergence zone kind of setting up there right near Redding. So kind of an interesting terrain feature that makes an enhanced convergence zone right there. Interesting that it shows that up on the NAM 3KM, and then we get a little bit of a break here before that next system will try to move in here from the west. So precipitation amounts, total precipitation in inches. I don't know if that was the Shasta County convergence zone there that it was picking up on for the European, but it does show some of that heavier precipitation up there. But again, mainly northern portions of California, not much of this moving down towards Sacramento or the Bay Area on the European. Then we scroll out and we watch that cutoff low move in here, and it does show a little bit of precipitation, but not much for Southern California. The GFS definitely shows more. We'll check back on that again here tomorrow. Now, looking at 850 millibars, so you can kind of see the ridge here off our coastline and keeping temperatures fairly warm aloft. There goes the system as we go through Tuesday into Monday into Tuesday. But then you'll see the air aloft really warm up, and that's going to allow us to have these above normal temperatures for much of the state as we go through the upcoming week. You can clearly see the cutoff low with its cooler temperatures aloft. Again, we're looking at 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere, and then you can see that approaching Southern California. But again, you notice that does not cool things off for, even the San Joaquin Valley, Bay Area, Sacramento Valley, Sierra Nevada, as that thing moves off to the south. But we'll watch that system, and then maybe something else here lurking off the coastline as well. Doesn't look like a very strong system, but it could maybe bring some precipitation to Southern California if things line up right. And if we look at take a look at 2-meter temperature anomaly, this is 1 day running average. You can see the system's kind of clipping Northern California, but then we do warm up here as we go through the upcoming week as we go. We're looking at 1 day chunks here, but you can see we spent a lot of that time in the red, so things are above average. And I mean, look at some of Southern California as well, pretty warm here in advance of that next system coming from the west. If we take a look at 2-meter temperature anomaly, this is just a 10-day running total here, I believe, and you can kind of see how we spend some of that time in red, but then we start to go back towards some below normal conditions there. So we do have hope as we go on into the early portion of March for some precipitation and some cooler than normal temperatures returning for the state of California. Showing the GFS 16-day precipitation anomaly, though, that's not a good look. You can see this was last night's run, and these browns are slightly below average here, and when you get to the white, you're at average. You see the Pacific Northwest a little bit above average, so didn't like seeing that, but again, it's the GFS, and we're looking far off into the future there. But if we look at the National Blend of Models, we go out 264 hours. This is almost 10 days. You can see it does show some precipitation, so there are going to be a couple of chances here as we go through the first week of March or so. And you see some better amounts showing up for some of the Sierra Nevada and the coastal regions as well. Now, if we look at daily 2-meter max temperature, this is for tomorrow, Monday. Check it out. Some areas in the desert trying to get up towards 90. If we scroll down a little bit there, I don't know why that keeps popping up, but we got 90. That's probably for Death Valley there. And you can see some upper 70s down towards Bakersfield. And then we go on to Tuesday, a little bit of a cool down for some of the valley there, but still very warm across the desert, Southern California. And again, Death Valley maybe into the low 90s. Then we go to Wednesday. Check it out. Mid-70s for the San Joaquin Valley, some 70s all the way up towards Redding, California. Look at Thursday, 75 for Redding, 81 for Bakersfield, warm across the deserts. And then we go Friday, look at 77, Redding, Red Bluff up there. And then we cool down a little bit next weekend, but we won't put too much stock in that just yet. But we do look to cool down as we go through next weekend, and then maybe we'll get some systems in here. We'll have to see how that trends. Here's the 6 to 10 day. This is not bad. We don't mind seeing it as we go through the first week of March. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook above. There's the 8 to 14 day. Again, we'll take that above average conditions here potentially for the state of California. And the below average signal starts to show up in the Climate Prediction Center as well. So drought monitor not doing too hot here across the southwest, but we did make a dent in it at least with that last big system that rolled through here, and we'll just continue to monitor that as we go on into the springtime. Hopefully we can get some more systems, because that's not a good look going into summer. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll break this all down again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.